Paste.
Hello. So sorry for that. I've been having major issues. First, it wouldn't let me sign on, and then it let me in, but then it wouldn't let me start it, and I had to re-go in under the oily prepper, and it was just a
It's
big
all
mess.
working now.
Yep. All
Live.
right, make sure mute your externals, everyone. Anyway, okay. So sorry. I gotta take a deep breath.
Find your zen. She doesn't want to zen people because she's late. We forgive you.
I'm pepperminting it right now, so maybe at
Good.
least I can get centered. Okay. So first of all, Hawaii Volcano Squad wants to brag on his preps that he didn't get to mention last week at the end of the show. So I'll let him do that real fast.
Well, I wouldn't use the word brag. I just didn't get to show him. I mean, I did a Costco trip, and I don't see if you can see this.
Extra thick cut steak
Yeah. Wait, let me look at the internal. Yeah, so I got, okay, there's lag, so let me deal with that. So this is my, is there any light? I don't know where my flashlight is, but.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So this is good for until January of next year. And while I was at Costco, I picked up a case of cattle drop chili. A whole case of that stuff. And my other favorite, picked up a bunch of, on my Walmart trip, Campbell's Chunky Chicken Soup. So, I'm like Jewish, so I like chicken soup. So, and this is chunky and it's got vegetables and noodles and stuff. So, anyway, those are my 3 prep from last week, and I didn't get a chance to mention them due to time constraints. So, now that I got them out there, I'm all happy.
Awesome.
Proceed with the bug out bag.
Nice. Welcome, Stump. Welcome, Willow Tassie. We Tree Bonsai. Yes.
And to whoever asked, this is my NRA wallet. That's where I keep my cash. This is NRA, and I don't keep cash in my bug out bag. And I don't know if it says the 50 caliber. I think casing.
No, just 1871.
Yes, it's 1871, and it's brass. So that's where I keep my money, and I also keep in here Fresnel lens. In here too. Fresnel, right? You're the elitist spell check person.
Pronunciation.
Enunciation, right? So.
BC Repair says that he has a bug out bacon.
Yes.
My kind of man.
Yes.
Hi, y'all.
So it goes in this yellow or this orange thing. So keep it safe.
Convenient carrying case to keep it unscratched and safe.
Yep.
Call now, and if you call now, we'll be free shipping and handling on a second one.
I don't sell. I'm not selling anything.
That would be elitist.
Yes, it would be.
That sounded great, by the way.
Thank you. I used to answer the phone. Good afternoon, and thank you for calling Jack LaLanne's Power Juicer. For quality assurance,
those are good
this call
juicers.
will be recorded.
I have one of those.
How can I help you?
Oh, fun.
Are you ready to start today getting healthier and a more active lifestyle? Say it with me. Yes,
anybody
I am.
that doesn't drink Jack and Coke is not a prepper.
I don't drink Jack and Coke, and I guarantee you I'm a prepper.
All right, that was just my anti-elitist rant. I don't like, there are no elitist. Go ahead.
Getting back to the juicer, tell me more.
Shout out to Living Frugal and Prepping. He's a buddy of mine. He's just down the road from me. He lives in Oklahoma as well. He's got a great channel. Go out and check out his channel out. He's got some good reviews on a lot of the wise food stuff. So, he's got a great channel. He's got great points. check him out.
Yes. Hey, Living Frugal and Prepping. Glad you could make it this week. Appreciate it. And BC, thank you for coming and enlightening us with your bacon logic. And let's see. Okay, so last week we ended on talking about fire kits going in our bug out bags. So I'm going to talk about light next. Even if you just plan to travel during the daylight, that may not always be an option. It may be necessary to travel at night. The need for light is for basic safety, and it extends to being able to see predators, where you are going for a potty break, or simply as a comfort measure for yourself or children. So with that said, everybody can talk about their take on that. Let's start with the Oklahoma Prepper, and then we'll move to Mouse Toes, then Squib, then Hawaii.
All right, real quick, one of the biggest things that I have, and I keep flashlights everywhere, and this is my pride and joy. This is a Streamlight Stinger DS. It's got the dual switch on it. That's one of my main flashlights that I keep. I also have a Scorpion 2 by Eaton. It is a hand crank, also has a solar panel on it, and it is a flashlight, a weather radio, a AM/FM radio. You can also plug your phone or whatever device you want on there to charge it with. That way you can have communications if needed.
Yeah, I have one that's similar. I don't think it's the same brand, but I do love mine.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
They have a Red Cross version of one of those things.
That's what I have, is the Red Cross version. Mouse Toes.
Now, we're talking about lighting in my bug out bag, right?
Light for your bug out bag.
Right. Well, I love the headlamp, okay, because you can angle it down, you can angle it whatever. Mine has red on it. I ain't calling for help if I'm bugging out. I'm really not using the red one, okay?
Right.
And yeah, so that's mine. And then we like the solar cranked hand flashlights. But the problem with that is if I'm trying to be quiet, I don't want to be going, because if I cranked mine right now that's in the drawer behind me, I mean, the deer would come, right? The men would come. It'd be bad. So we're rethinking that one. And I'm going in. Hopefully, WeTree can put a link up to this. It's the Lucy, Luci, solar-powered pop-up light that I've been watching on a lot of the RV channels. And they'll hang them up in their RV, because I'm a solar-powered lunatic, and it's quiet, and it folds flat. So I'm going to order one of those. They're on sale now. They're normally like $18, and they're on sale for $14, and that's what I'm going to try. But other than that, we're a headlamp person, and then a small one that fits on your wrist. For like when you're walking or doing a task, I can hold it easily, that sort of thing. But I want something that angles down in my headlamp for a bug out bag.
Yeah, I mean, it frees your hands up too, which is so important. You know, and you also have to decide there. I like to have two forms of light in my bag, because I like one that's not as bright, so that it won't be as visible from too far off.
Yes.
But will allow me to do some small tasks, and then one that's very bright, you know. So Squib, you got anything to add on that, on the lighting for bug out bags?
Yes, for lighting, everybody's got a light on their cell phone. Now, some people say that's not very good. You can't see it at a distance. It's barely good enough for reading, that sort of thing. And it's no good if your phones aren't charged. We've got chargers all throughout the house and in all the vehicles for all the phones. We've even got enough extra for guests and whatnot. And I try to remind everybody to keep their phones charged all the times. I keep both my phones charged at all times. We have flashlights all over the house, and I periodically check the batteries and whatnot. When we travel, we've got flashlights in all vehicles in the glove box. On my motorcycle, I've got tools in one of the saddlebags, so I keep a flashlight in there. And one of the charging cables, I have 2 phone chargers on my motorcycle. One of the charging cables, if you push down on the end, it's got a little LED light, which is good enough to see things if you're trying to do repair in the dark, or you're just trying to look for something. And it's really, it's not a whole lot of light, but it's enough. It's extra light. In addition, when we travel and we take the wife's car, I usually put one of the bigger mag lights in the trunk, both in case I need a flashlight while, if we're broke down on the side of the road in the dark or something like that. It's going to be better than a cell phone light or the little flashlight in the glove box. But I don't know if any of you have ever been popped in the head with a mag light, but it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So it doubles as a defensive tool.
Definitely.
Something else to consider with lights is, I don't know if anybody's ever messed with light sticks. Those Kyalum light sticks.
Yes, I have those.
You shake them and break them. Now, those are good if you need a situation where you want to maybe illuminate a trail. They've got a little loop on the end so you can tie them to stuff, hang them to things, that sort of thing. And they're good for about 12 hours. You can get them in different colors. Green is the best color. And that's because the human eye picks up green better than any other color. So for at night, green is the best. But you can't turn them off. So once you break them, they're on. So if you're trying to, if you're concerned about giving away your position, it may not be good. On the other hand, if you're not in some sort of tactical situation where you're trying to illuminate an area or just mark a trail or something like that in a maybe in some sort of disaster relief situation or something like that, those are good because they won't start a fire, unlike a road flare, which doesn't last very long and is flammable and that sort of thing. So that's just something to consider if anybody gets light sticks.
Great point. Welcome,
Yes.
Jared Walsh. Welcome.
Hey, Jared. Okay, it's my turn.
Yes,
I did my bug out bag. I did a video of the light that I have in there. It's a headlamp. It's the Princeton Tech MPLS Pro Remix 2, and it's got multiple colors. So like you can have a blue light. Or you can go. It also has an infrared light only. So if you're using night vision, and it's got the way it works is you can click it and bring up the different color lights, and it doesn't automatically come on super bright the first time you click it. So click it once, and then everybody within 10 miles knows exactly where you are. And so. The blue light is like, if you have to want to move around and not have, in a stealthy manner, is better than white light. That being said, I also have a inexpensive Chinese light on my keychain. I was shown that earlier. I got it off of GearBest. It was inexpensive. It's called the UltraTac. And so, everywhere I go, I've got it on my. I've got a titanium thing with low dose aspirin in it, titanium pill capsule, low dose aspirin, and I don't usually go anywhere without my house keys, so I've always got at least one of these. And again, it's small enough, but it's pretty bright considering how much it costs. It's got 3 levels. It's even got a strobe that actually works. I tested it on somebody who wasn't prepared for it, and they really complained. So. Well, you have to field test these things under stressful situations, and it works. And so that, and I've got a couple, lightweight flashlights on top of the Princeton headlamp, and I've got extra batteries for it too. It uses a CR123, which is the same as on my the optic on my Israeli rifle uses. So, got a small case of 10 batteries, polymer case that's waterproof for the extra batteries, and I have some of the light sticks too. So there's multiple sources of lighting besides without starting a fire or anything. But I think that covers my bug out bag lighting. A couple flashlights, headlamp, and light sticks.
If I can add something that Squib said that I really liked, is he tests the batteries, the flashlights in his house, because we're on the coast and we have a lot of company who comes. And so my guest room, we intentionally didn't put any of the outlets on our solar battery backup. So in each end table, I have flashlights, and then I have the batteries sitting separately. And I do every 3 months that little test where you drop the battery, the little C battery, and if it lands flat, it's good. If it bounces, it's not. And also I liked what he said about having it in his car, because I have the solar charges in our car glove boxes, because our cars reach 212 degrees here in the summer, and you go to use that flashlight or open your glove box and that battery literally exploded, right? You just trashed a good flashlight. Now you got an acid situation. And so we use the solar ones for that. But I really like that he checks his batteries, because I've stayed at a lot of friends' houses, lights go out, all I've got is the one on my key ring, because I'm visiting for a couple hours, and every flashlight they try doesn't work because the batteries have been in there so long, and then when you go to open it, it's all crusty from the battery leaking.
Exactly.
Yeah, battery test kits are a good idea.
Go ahead, Oklahoma Prepper.
This is a really good tip, and this is how I got my glow sticks, my psyllium sticks, or whatever you want to call them. Right after Halloween, they go on sale for pennies.
Oh.
I got mine right as they went on sale, for I think 44 cents a piece. And that's
at Walmart?
Yeah, Walmart. So as soon as they go on sale, like right after Halloween, just hit them up, and you can get a ton of them for not very much.
Cool. We got Halloween coming up in the not too distant future, so.
Brilliant idea.
Jared Walsh also gave a great point. Red light filters work great for night also, and it doesn't affect your night vision. So that's a great point. Or Finger Lakes said that he used to run a patrol boat on the river at night with no lights. Loved it. Iridium 242's out there. Hey, Iridium, welcome.
Yes. And I really like the red light, because that's interesting, because we go turtle watching at night and you have to have a red light flashlight. So I got those imitation vintage Army flashlights, that come up straight, and it's sort of like an L, and you can change the lenses, and we have to walk the beach at night with the red light. But I didn't realize that helped with night vision. I just thought I had to use them for the turtles. So see, you learn something new in a lot of ways. I just thought it was a turtle light.
Welcome, Faith Abounds at Melody Acres. Welcome. Okay, so let's go on to protection. Of course, the flashlight was a good one. The mag light's great protection. But you need a way to protect yourself and your family in the event of human or four-legged predators. Guns can be used as protection or as a means to hunt food. A good knife is essential in the event you run out of ammunition. It's also quiet, so it doesn't give away your position. Be sure to pack ammo for guns and a sharpening stone for your blades. So we'll start with Mouse Toes first this time. Anything on the protection?
I missed the whole thing because I was typing, because even though I have a uterus, I evidently cannot listen and type at the same time. I just failed woman.
Busted.
Okay, yes.
You're hilarious.
I'm sorry.
We're just talking about protection, like for protection for yourself, like in the event of a bad situation against human or four-legged predators.
Okay. Like I've always gotcha. I've always got a knife on my belt because I will stick you. Okay, it's just a little Kershaw. I'm in South Carolina with great knife laws. It's the kind of places I often go is if you don't have a weapon, we'll issue you one while you're on the premises. And the other is just a 38. A gaping chest wound takes the fight out of a man. It'll take a dog down. It'll go through his skull. And I rock a bra holster. I'm just saying.
Squib, anything on protection?
Well, I carry a Leatherman on my belt everywhere, but I don't consider that a weapon. Some people say, "Oh, it's a pocket knife." I think it's a 3-inch blade. It's not a weapon. It's too small. It's not a weapon.
It's more of a tool.
It's a tool. It is absolutely a tool. I would say in some sort of situation like that, everybody in my family would be armed, probably with a long gun and a handgun. And My sons have been trained on how to use a firearm both safely and accurately. My older son, he likes to throw knives, so he's got some throwing knives and a target in the backyard. But
Nice.
my kids both have well, they don't have normal knives, I guess you could say. I mean, discounting the throwing knives, they both have bayonets, and that doubles as something you can put in the end of maybe an old milsurp rifle. But really, it does make a good tool or a good a weapon if you had to use it to defend yourself. Another thing, too, is if for some reason you had maybe a hatchet or something like that, that could be used to defend yourself. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Firearms, of course, is your go-to. And here in Michigan, we can't have a lot of the non-lethal stuff. We can have pepper spray, which is not pleasant to get hit with. But
And
that
it works
has
on dogs very well.
Well, some dogs, I don't know. You got a rabid pit bull. I don't know about that, but
They all have very sensitive olfactory senses, and they basically go from mean dog to I was just playing with you kind of a look on their face.
if you don't have pepper spray, something you can use for defensive is wasp spray. It'll reach out supposedly to 25 feet. I've never sprayed it that far, but that stuff, I wouldn't want to get it in my eyes. And another thing is just if somebody is in a household where they can't have guns or don't have guns, or you live in a state where maybe you can't have them, like here in Michigan, you can't have stun guns, which I think they should allow that because it's non-lethal. But if you want to have a weapon and whatnot, I mean, there are different things you can use, a baseball bat, something like that. Really, in a life or death situation, you pick up anything that you can get before you go to your fists. You pick up a rock. You use a tool. A branch, or really a big branch, I suppose. Anything like that, you're going to go to before you use your fist. When I was in the military, they did teach us how to do hand-to-hand fighting, and they said this is a last resort. When your rifle goes down, you go to your sidearm, or you go to the butt of your rifle or your bayonet. If those go down, then you use your fighting knife. If that goes down, then you pick up a rock, you pick up a stick, you pick up the enemy's weapon. If that goes down, then you hit them with your helmet. If that goes down, you hit them with your canteen. If that goes down, then you go to your fists and your feet and that sort of thing. And I know that might sound contradictive to a lot of action movies that people see, but in real life, when you're really fighting, for your life, having a weapon is better than using your bare hands pretty much every single time. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd be more likely to punch somebody than use my Leatherman. That goes against my training. But it's something that they told us. Don't try to be the action superstar that you saw in the movies growing up. Using a weapon to defend yourself, there's nothing wrong with that, and it might be the difference between getting out of there alive or not. So
yes, that's excellent.
Absolutely. And, like starting, if you can carry a gun, then that's going to be first, because the more distance you have between you and the person, the less likely you're going to get harm come to you.
Right.
So,
right.
I'm not one of those that seeks out to harm anybody, but if they're coming after me or my family, that's going to be another story. It's going to be you that's going down. That's just it. So, but absolutely. Yeah, it makes it hard for people like Willow Tassie out there who lives in Tasmania. She can't carry a knife. She can't carry a gun. That's illegal. But like Faith Abound said, bear spray is even better than pepper spray. Just the regular pepper spray, because bear spray, it puts out so much more with so much more force and puts it out there so much further. So keeps them further away from you. So bear spray is a great option if you can't carry another weapon, or even if you can for different things. So that's
I carry a karambit most everywhere I go, including if I go to the pool, and I kind of reached the point, just speaking for myself personally in my life, where somebody really wants to hurt me. I'm this 50-something-year-old recovering cardiac patient. So I'm not going to dance and play some chivalrous game of boxing. I'm just going to go straight to lethal force. And, and whatever somebody really wants to hurt me, they'll be dead, and maybe in a couple of years my lawyer will have to come up with an inventive explanation in front of the judge. But whoever the bad guy is who really wants to hurt me, it won't matter if I go to jail or not, because they'll be dead. And so I just, I train, I do my Cali exercises. I know how to use my knife. And I mean, the state of Hawaii doesn't let you carry firearms. And so it's just a question of, can you kill someone unless it basically, I think the Marines had a saying, didn't they, Squib? Visit. I mean, I'm going to probably screw this up. It's like, travel to the world, far into the world, meet wonderful new cultures, smile, be friendly, and have a plan to kill every person that you meet.
Eat exotic food and kill them all.
Yeah.
Not that you want to do it, but it's just like, if somebody attacks you, end it quickly.
Yeah, the reserves had a similar saying, but then they added, but only on weekends.
Oh God, yes.
Wheat Tree Bonsai gave a good point. Wasp spray, 25-footer. Well, Mouse Toes and I have a mutual friend that accidentally got sprayed in the eye with wasp spray, and he's blind in that eye now. I mean, it'll mess you up for sure.
With regard to dogs, I mean, I like using, if the dog comes at me, I prefer to use pepper spray than something lethal, because it's the owner that's screwing up. The dog dog is just being a dog, and I wouldn't want to hurt a dog. I mean, unless it's like feral or something, if the only problem is the owner, isn't controlling his animal, I'd rather just, it won't permanently injure the dog, but I've seen it work on dogs. It goes, they truly go from, attack animal to like, pet in like about, with a I'm sorry look on their face in almost, in less than 10 seconds. And it doesn't matter how big they are. It's because they all have the same olfactory senses.
Right. Now, regarding wasp spray in a house, this was something that women's group were saying, oh, women who can't have a gun in their house or have children or against guns should have a wasp can next to their end table. If you shoot wasp spray off in your bedroom, okay, first it's going to be in the dark. You're going to be gagging and choking for air. So I'm down with it outside, but I don't want it in my bug out bag. And Faith made a good point about a small keychain mace, because our cars get so hot, exploding in her car.
Ooh.
So that's the thing for us. But wasp spray, I'm petrified of since that happened.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, he was sick. It affected his eyes, his nasal. It's a nerve agent. It affects your nerves. So, but don't ever deploy that in your house. You've just disabled yourself. And odds are in the dark, you're not going to hit the bad guy. But outside, okay. But it's heavy and it's clumsy. That's a heavy thing to carry if you're in a bug out situation.
That's more of an impromptu situation rather than something to pack.
Say you're in your garage as a female with your garage open, right? And somebody enters your garage. Good God, we got all kind of stuff we can spray in there. Wasp spray.
Oh, yeah.
So I like that idea.
All kinds of stuff.
Yes.
Mountain Man 1478 is in the house. Hey, Mountain Man.
Macho Man has entered. Yeah.
Okay, Oklahoma Prepper, it's his turn on the weapons.
Okay.
For bug out bag.
First of all, guns are awesome to have for self-protection. Just one thing is you better know how to use them. You need to know how to use them safely. You need to know how to, if something goes down with your firearm, you need to know how to fix that problem.
Absolutely.
With the reason I tell people, whenever they say what's the best thing to go for, and the last thing I say is my firearm, because for one, you're in this type of situation, your ammunition is limited. So what you have on you is basically what you're going to have for the duration of the situation, and that's not something you want to, just get rid of that easily. So I carry a K-bar everywhere I go, and this design is made to where I can grip it like a pistol, and if I have to, cut or just shove it in someone or something. And it has a molly molly strap, so I can strap it onto my bug out bag, or I can put it on my belt and carry it that way. And I have a couple of these. Um, Another thing is, as former law enforcement, uh, you have to. Mouse Toes brought up a good point with pepper spray, and I see. Okay, and I see that she's talking about pepper gel. First of all, no, stay away from the pepper gel. The reason I say that, or the foams, stay away from the pepper spray foams and the gels, is because if you can spray that in somebody's face, it's easy enough for them to wipe it off and then throw it back in your face. We were taught that in law enforcement. Um, with pepper spray, it is a very there's two different types of pepper spray. You have Mace brand, and then you have pepper spray. Mace brand has CS and CN gas as well as fiberglass to
Ooh.
aid in the irritation, but that CN and CS can be washed off with water. Pepper spray, if you buy oil-based uh, pepper spray, it is very hard to wash off, and it will stay there for up to about an hour. When I got sprayed, the effects were still strong at 45 minutes, and I went to wash my face off afterwards, and it just reignited the pain. It just
They make you do that in law enforcement as part of the training.
yes, sir. And you know, and they also brought up a good deal, a good idea to keep pepper spray out of your vehicle when you're not near it. I carried pepper sprays, and I carried them everywhere I went. If I was in the vehicle, my pepper spray was in the vehicle. If I went into the store, my pepper spray went into the store with me. Um, and but it is very hard to um, maintain yourself and your safety when you've just deployed pepper spray in a confined area such as a bedroom or a living room or a garage. However, it is not something that I'm not going to tell you not to do because it will help to disable your attacker. However, be prepared that this is going to be the worst pain you will ever feel in your life. And I'm not exaggerating that. I've had a broken arm, I've had broken bones, had appendicitis, I have gallbladder issues, uh, my back, I have 3 ruptured discs in my back. Pepper spray is by far the worst pain I've ever felt in my life.
I've never felt pepper spray, but I'll top your pain meter with open heart surgery. The incision wound was pretty bad.
I don't know about that yet, but
I hope you don't.
Then we'll talk. Um,
I'm not going to endure it just as a comparison test.
right.
I'll wait. I'll wait to hear from somebody.
I agree. It is not something I want to tell you guys to do, but also it is good to try that as an endurance test because that way you will know the effects of it. That way you will learn, okay, what am I going to do to get out of the situation I'm in? Chances are the guy you pepper sprayed is not going to be trained in pepper spray and how to use it and how to combat through the effect. Make sure you know what you're using. You have a good idea of what you're using and how to use it and how to get through the situation after you've used it. In Oklahoma, we are pretty well open to any type of self-protection. You can carry knives, you can carry sprays, you can carry guns, you can carry electronic devices such as tasers or stun guns. Um, so we really have an advantage to other states as far as what you can do to protect yourself. A couple of things in an SHTF scenario, when we're going to be out hiding out in our bug out locations, there's a couple of other things that I want to let you guys inform you on as preppers is that like I said before, a firearm is going to give your location away, And at that time, you're going to be limited on ammunition, whether you have 1,000 rounds, whether you have 10,000 rounds, whether you have 10 rounds. It doesn't matter how much you're going to have, you're still limited to whatever. So there's a couple of different things that you can do. Just go out with a pocket knife and get a couple of sticks, and you can make a slingshot. You can make a atlatl, and I'll type that into the chat, and a bow and arrow. You can make anything you need to out of a stick and a knife, and if you can build it, use some cordage. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is if you have enough time in the situation and you come across a big rock, hit it up against another big rock, a boulder or something, and use those shards, those really sharp blade type shards as self-protection. Personally, me, I would go for a melee rather than shooting somebody that's coming at me. I want the advantage. I want the advantage of being in a certain area but not seen. I want to be able to be in a tree, on a tree branch, with somebody that's trying to hurt me below me, jump down with my K-bar, take them out, straight to the neck, or however I've got to do it, to protect myself in my area and my possessions and property. So
my edged weapon is never more than 3 seconds away from a bad guy's vital artery.
Exactly. So, and you have to keep that in mind as well. Make sure you know the human anatomy very well enough to know where your arteries are. You've got carotid artery in your throat. You've got your radial artery in your wrists. You've got femoral arteries in your femur. Your aorta is about this big around, and it runs down from your heart down to your femoral arteries and other arteries, and that go toward anywhere down to your lower body. So familiarize yourself with the human anatomy, because that's going to help you as well. So with everything that we've described, every type of weapon we've described, there's always a downfall to everything. If you go cut someone up and you miss all the right places to actually take them down, then you could be in a worse situation than you were. He could run off, tell his buddies, hey, they're heading out over there, they cut me up. Well, guess what? Now they have guns and they're coming to take you out. So make sure you take care of the situation. Make sure you neutralize the threat, whatever it be, and with whatever you have. So with every good and everything that everybody mentioned, they were all good points, good weapons, good tactics. But just remember that you have to be able to neutralize your opponent or the threat in order for you to be able to walk out alive and safely. And if you could, I saw in the chat, sharp sticks. It doesn't take much to take your pocket knife out, find a straight long stick, and make a spear out of it.
And then fire harden it if you have time.
Exactly. So I mean, you've got everything's out there. It's just you have to know how to use it, and you have to know how to do it. And that's going to be my personal challenge for the week. Is I'm going to put videos up on how to make these weapons that out of a stick and a pocket knife and anything you can find, basically out in the wild. So be sure anything you can use as a weapon is a great weapon. Just be sure you know where you're going for.
Right.
Be sure you know the overspray effects of pepper spray, because you will get irritated with it as well. So anything that you're going to use as a weapon, make sure you're trained on it. Make sure you practice with it, and make sure you know the effects that it's going to cause on your threat. So that being said, everything is really out there and free. You just have to know what you're looking for and how to do it. And I will make it a point to have some videos coming up this week, over the weekend and throughout until the next show, to show you guys exactly how to make these weapons. So that being said,
we'll have to check those out for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Real quick, I want to say, I don't know if I said hi to Mindy on here. Hi, Mindy Patriot Angel. Welcome. And Stealth Camper, the Stealth Camper, welcome. Mouse Toes, you have a name that you need to say real quick.
Okay, I was trying to say it right, but it's Hidden Numismatist. That's it. Yeah. No. Okay. It's wrong. I practiced inside Hidden Numismatist. You do it, Oily.
Numismatist.
Thank you.
Hidden Numismatist.
Hey, we lisp. It affects us. Hello, Hidden Numismatist.
He's a coin collector, not Elmer Fudd.
Okay, do you know how easy it is to say Mouse Toes? He made a hard name. It affects us. Okay, we both lisp trying to say it.
That's why, like in BC, he said that his is a mouthful of words. BC truck, rebuild, repair, repurpose. Well, mine is Oily's Humble Home, aka the Oily Prepper, because people didn't know who I was because I had changed my name, so I had to add that. So yeah, we have to all be complicated, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Gee willikers, we couldn't do something simple like Mouse Toes or the Stealth Camper.
Right, or
Iridium.
Squibload, Mindy Patriot Angel.
Right.
People forget to put the R in prepper whenever they refer to me or my channel. It's always the Oklahoma Prepper, not prepper. I gave up a long time ago.
I love that.
Or the Oklahoma Prepper.
Somebody asked what the topic was, and I think we got off of bug out bags.
No.
Yeah, the topic is stuff we're putting in the bug out bag, so we need to try to hyper focus on that.
But wasn't that about protection in our bug out bags?
It was about protection. We just need to hyper focus on what we can put in our bags. We will go into these things in future episodes of like some things that we can do, if we're out there and we don't have a weapon and stuff. So we will do that. Okay, communication is the next. Okay, handheld two-way radios are a great option. In the event the cell lines still work, a good solar charger and cable are a great option to have as well. A solar battery-operated hand crank radio to listen to news updates are also a great idea. Batteries for all of your battery-operated items. And a ham radio, of course. There's handheld ones that you can carry. But you can also do a base one, but there are handheld ones that you can carry as well. Two-way handheld radios are great to have in there for each person. So let's see. Squib, I think you're first on this one now. Anything on communication for a bug out bag?
As far as radios, if you wanted to have the affordable two-way radios that you can buy at the hardware store, order online or whatnot, I recommend the Motorola radios. Some of those come with battery packs that you can put on a base charger or take those out and just put in AA or AAA batteries. Some of them can be charged with the USB, mini USB or micro USB. So if you've got that solar panel that charge USB devices, some of those talk about radios can be charged that way. They've got multiple channels. So as long as everybody in your group's on the same channel, you could communicate. But I will say that they do not have very long range. If you're on one side of the hill and they're on the other side of the hill, they will not pick you up. So if you're on the high ground, you can transmit a little bit further, whatnot. So you're probably going to have to be in close proximity to use them. Sometimes a building will interfere with those as well. And I'm just speaking from my experience using them at work. We use two-way radios at work all the time. So I've tested them out in my neighborhood and had the kids go ahead of me. That's another thing too. If you get them and you want to find out how well they work, go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, and, have the kids come with and see how far they can get before the radio, you lose contact. So.
True. Absolutely. Thank you. Hawaii, got something to say on communications stuff?
I got a Bofang off of Amazon. I'm studying. I got a book to study for the license test. But other than it's fun listening into the King Kamehameha Hotel staff talk about, they never ever give their broadcast license, but like there's like whatever's going on at the hotel, if I leave the radio on, I'll hear it. It's like quarter mile from my house. So it's fun. There's a lot. There's some books on that you could get on Amazon. I like to prepare for the license test to get your FCC license, and it's interesting to read. So I've been studying my book. I've got an inexpensive Bofang off of Amazon. So use Amazon to get something like that while you still can, while it's still up, and the economy's still working. And have fun. There's some good books you'll find, I'm sure, on Amazon on how to get a license, and you learn a lot in the process of studying for it, and it's pretty easy to pass the test. So from what I've heard, I mean, there's a book with all the questions, and they ask you like a random 20 or 30 questions out of the book for the test. So if you read it, they're all basic. You don't have to have anything more than elementary school education to pass the test. So
awesome, good points. Oklahoma.
He's looking down. Okay. I turn my mic off when I'm not talking so that I don't interrupt or accidentally interrupt. He has a good point. They're all good points. You can get these little handheld radios at Walmart for about $30, $40. You can get them at pawn shops. This particular one I like because you can actually plug it in to charge it like a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you can program this one that way as well. If for some reason you lose the programming. These do help. These are probably these will help. However, if a bad guy has one and he's scanning through the channels, he can hear everything you're talking about. He was talking about his Bofang radio. I have one. This is the UV82 Charlie. UV82 is the Part 90 compliant radio. It is a ham radio, and I used this for my fire department. And I worked when I was a firefighter. I know there's a lot of people going to be bad-mouthing it that I can't use this. I've checked with the FCC. These are okay to use as work radios. These are ham radios, as long as you're not playing with the other channel, like cam channels. And Finger, you've made a good point. I do have the MERS channels on here as well, the multi-use radios channel. So, for this radio, you do not have to have a ham license to buy it. However, to operate it, you do have to have a ham license. I listen in on all the all my local channels with this. I'm not at home. It doubles as a scanner, and I do have it programmed where it will not transmit if I hit the transmit button. Bringing back to the flashlight, the beginning of the channel, this has a flashlight on it.
All of them. A lot of them do.
Like mode on there as well. Another good thing about this radio is it has a FM radio mode to it. If you just hit the top, the F button, it will go to, I can listen to music. Now, what I found with this radio is while I was on the fire department, I was listening to the radio. I was listening to FM radio, listening to music on this radio. And when my tones dropped, it switched over, picked up my frequency and broadcast it. It switched over from radio to two-way and broadcast my fire department message, and then went back to radio. So these are a good help. They are rechargeable. These are very, very inexpensive. This particular one is, like I said, a Part 90 compliant. This particular one cost me about $60. I have a couple of them. This one and the UV5R, and the 5R is pretty much the they're pretty much the same. This one's just built a little bit stronger as per Part 90 compliance. But they range anywhere from $15 up to $50, and you can find them on Amazon. And I'll type in the chat. That's not right. I'm typing in the name of the radio so that you guys can look on Amazon for the radio. And you can get, like I said, there's all different kinds. You can get them in different colors. You can get them anywhere from pink to blue, black, camouflage, yellow, green, any colors you want. They're available in those colors. But during an SHTF situation, I think the FCC is going to be the last of my worries, so I will utilize this. However, it is illegal to operate this radio without a ham license. And if Living Frugal and Prepping can attest, if he's still here, I believe he's a ham operator as well.
Yeah, and, I believe so too.
Yeah, so he can attest to it as well. That in just like he was saying a second ago, he's going to get his ham license. He's studying for it. The possibilities are endless. I can take this radio, knowing what any ham operator knows. I can take this radio and I can talk to him over in Hawaii on this radio if I hit all the repeaters and the satellite repeaters. So, that being said, you can do a lot of work with one of these little handheld radios that cost about $30 on Amazon. And but by no means am I condoning illegal ham radio use. By no means. But just be aware of your federal laws on radio communications and ham radio. And yes, Mindy, it is illegal without a license to operate these radios.
It's easy to get a license too, and it's fun. Just read it. You'll learn a lot reading like the test study books.
Hey, once you learn and study and take your ham test, you'll learn how to take this radio and be able to talk to you in Hawaii or somebody else. Mouse Toes, you're over on the East Coast. I could talk to you. I could talk to anybody across anywhere in the world if I just knew what. If I would just take and study. I have a book that I've been lacking in studying, but it teaches you how to make antennas. It teaches you how to make radios. It teaches you this. It teaches you everything that you need to know about how to make radios. And your first step to getting your ham license is technician. Is the first level?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, technician. And then after that is what's the next level?
I haven't read the book in like the last 2 weeks, so I
don't remember. But your technician, that gives you the most basic on ham radio operations, and
yeah,
it's really awesome to learn. You're going to learn all this stuff, which is absolutely priceless information that you're going to have with these radios that could save your life. And how tech, general, and then extra. You're right, Iridium. Thank you. Your level after a technician is going to be general, which gives you insane opportunity to be able to learn and talk. People talk to the International Space Station on these radios. If that gives you an idea, I mean,
yeah.
You can talk to literally other planets with this radio. So,
yeah. Welcome, Moshav McDowell.
I don't know anybody on other planets though, so that's
exactly.
Mouse Toes. So I have to wrap up real quick. Mouse Toes, I'll let you get in your word on communication if you have anything to add real quick.
I do have something real fast, and I'll talk real fast. I live here in the low country, and my husband takes a radio out, the little Motorola, when he goes out crabbing, and then he can report to me how many he's got, and that determines how many pots I put out. But we can get like 7 miles on it because we live in the low country. It's flat as heck. And when we moved from Greenville to the coast, we were talking to each other on those very radios. And like what Oklahoma has, we can charge them. And then I'm working on my text license for whatever kind of low ham radio I have, which a ham licensed radio person got me on a good sale. But I listen in like when Matthew was coming, and I could listen in on like what kind of bad activities in my area are happening.
Awesome. All right. Well, we only got through light, protection, and communication this week. So we still have next week. We have cordage, clothing, sanitation, first aid, documents, and comfort items. 6 things. So we have to, well, we may be having 4 or 5 in this series. Who knows? We'll see. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate you being patient with the mix-up, with the mess-up that Google was throwing at us earlier. But we got her done, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate the Oklahoma Prepper, Mouse Toes, Squibload, and Hawaii Volcano Squad for being my guests, and to each and every one of you out there that came to give input. We appreciate it. If you're not seeing this live and you have input, put it in the comments. I want to hear from you. I want to hear things that you want to suggest and things that you want to do. Hello to Mr. Rain and Rain Country. You guys, thank you all for coming. Love you. Good night. Stay safe.
Aloha.